James Lynch here for Bodog. Great catching up with one of the big winners last weekend in the main event of UFC Vegas 113. Getting it done. Submission victory over Vinicius Oliveira. It is Mario Bautista joining me here on the program. Mario, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me.
It's great to talk to you, man. Huge win over a dangerous prospect. You've had a lot of good wins in your career, but this one's got to be right near the top with the fact that you went out there, dominated the fight, and you got that nice finish. I know it's been a while since you had one of those.
Yeah, it's just with everything involved, it being my first main event, first 5 rounds against a tough opponent, coming off a loss. Um, it was great. Getting that finish too. I feel like I aced the test and got the bonus as well. So it was all great experience altogether.
Other than a first round finish, could that fight have gone any better?
I don't think so. And maybe just give the fans a round, just to, let them enjoy it a little bit. But yeah, no, it couldn't have gone any better. Either that or maybe a 5 round war, but hurting right now. So I'm happy with it.
I know your team at the MMA lab comes in very well prepared, but kind of looking back on the fight, anything surprise you about him that maybe you weren't expecting?
Just a few things, him kind of like initiating the wrestling. That kind of surprised me a little bit. And then also just his willingness to stay on the ground, especially when I'm over the top of him, he's kicking me away. For him just to kind of like lay there, that was a little surprising to me. But other than that, not really. He threw his hard shots. I felt his power. But no, I was able to see everything and adjust, throughout the short time that we had and to get the finish.
Um, and it was kind of cool because, of course, if people watch the post show, you actually found out on camera that you got the bonus. What are you going to be spending the money on? And what how was that something you were expecting?
No, wasn't expecting the bonus. I was just so happy with the finish at that point. Um, but it's pretty surreal, especially with them changing the bonuses like two weeks ago, and then for me to get it. I mean, that it was just such a cool experience. I haven't gotten one in a while, so that was pretty cool. I haven't thought about what to spend it on yet. It does take a while for it to hit your bank account. I believe it takes like 8 weeks. So I got some time to think about it. So we'll see what I can think of.
Now, after the fight, we found out Oliveira had mentioned that I guess he broke his arm. I think 51 days before the fight, there was some injuries going in. I know fighters want to be honest about stuff like that, but did that bother you at all, or are you just happy that you got the win and sort of moving on from it?
Uh, it does bother me a little bit, because you have the choice not to take the fight. If something like that happens, that's up to you, and it comes down to that choice, and that's something, the consequences of if it could go bad or good. So I think at the end of the day, you have to just live with that. If it didn't go your way, just keep it to yourself. That it just kind of makes you look bad, to be honest, and then you just try to take away from someone's win. So it's just all to protect his ego and whatnot. I think that whole week, me not biting into what his antics and all that, I think really kind of messed with him instead. Um, but yeah, and we all go in with things, right? We all go with injuries, little things. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's your choice to go in there or not.
Yeah, I agree. And I think also if you're going to reveal an injury, maybe do it like before your next fight or something. I don't know. Cause you're right. Like you got the win. It kind of takes away a little bit from the performance. Did you notice anything during fight week? Like him saying that, did that catch you off guard, or was it one of those things where you kind of had an inkling that something was up?
No, I didn't notice anything during fight week. He was out there puffing on his chest, saying all these things. I'm thinking maybe he's healthy, maybe he's fine. I feel like you wouldn't say things like that, if you're kind of injured. But no, I didn't notice anything. I didn't see him there at all fight week, and he's known to do that. I think he probably gets an Airbnb and was away from everyone, so I didn't get to see him. And honestly, I just wasn't even thinking about that. We were
Yeah.
gonna go in there and fight. So, but no, I didn't notice anything.
I know you're interested in a rematch with Cory Sandhagen, and I think the timing of that makes a lot of sense with Cory obviously coming off his last fight. Has there been any talks about a next opponent yet, or are we still kind of in the, enjoy the win and let, circle back in a few weeks type thing?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything yet. Uh, Nothing yet, but I made it known to what I wanted, and hopefully we could get something done in the summertime. Um, but yeah, just waiting around. Hopefully they give me like a little break, in between all this, and I get to enjoy myself for a little bit.
I'd say so too. How does the 2026 Mario Bautista match up against the 2026 Cory Sandhagen? Because obviously you guys fought previously, but obviously the context is important. You took that on short notice. It was your debut. There's a lot of different circumstances. You know, two full camps I think would be a really interesting rematch.
Yeah, I think a full camp would definitely help, but just all the experience that I've had, all these big fights that I've had, um, with Jose Aldo, that Patchy fight, having this main event, having Oliveira, dealing with that. So I've been through it all. So I think I'd be a lot more calm and collected in there. Um, and I'd like to see how it go now. It could go the exact same way, or it could go completely different. But that's just something I'd be interested in.
Do you not think that would be one of the highest level like fight IQ fights in the division? Because I think both of you guys are kind of known for that, like good game planning, good fight IQ, all that. Like that's the I think intriguing part for me is it would be a bit of a chess match. I think between the two of you.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be a fun matchup. He's done some great things. I've done some great things. I've had plenty of wins, and he's fought at the highest level. So it would be a fun matchup. I think fans would definitely love that, and it has a great story behind it too. With it being my debut loss, my first pro loss, and then you don't see it too often. So where a guy chases another one down to the very top to even be in this opportunity and even take it. So it'd be pretty cool.
And you don't have to worry about trash talk. Corey's a pretty respectful guy. You might get the odd, like, kind of corny skit on his OnlyFans or whatever he's doing out there, but outside of that, it'd be pretty tame, don't you think?
Oh yeah, I think it'd be pretty respectful between us. Yeah, he's out there making his little funny videos and whatnot. But no, it would be nothing like Vinicius or nothing like Patchy. I think it'd be pretty respectful.
Speaking of Patchy, I don't know if we talked about this. Did you see what was your reaction to seeing him get released after just two fights? I think some people were surprised by that. Looks like he's fighting at 145 now in Ryzen.
Yeah, no, I was pretty surprised that he got let go. If that was the issue with him saying like, oh, he needs to move to 145, the cut is too much or whatever, let him go to 45 here in the UFC and see what he can do. See if that's really the issue. Um, but yeah, and then at the same time, you lose two in a row. You didn't fulfill like these expectations that the UFC had, and it's a cutthroat business. If you don't live up to it, you don't win. They move on pretty fast. So
Yeah, and they obviously like certain fighters over others, and that could be a variety of reasons, entertainment and stuff. Because like we just had Tai Tuivasa a couple weeks ago, he's 5 losses and he's still on the roster, but then Patchy gets cut after 2. But again, I think it's what the UFC feels is best for business, right? We know this; it's kind of cutthroat that way, right? So
yeah, and that's surprising, because like I don't know what their deal is with Patchy, to be honest, because he's had like some amazing finishes. Even though he's a ground guy, he's always attacking submissions on people's backs, darces, and he's finishing some fights. So. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
not too
a
sure
little bit
why.
odd there. I think we talked about this last time, but I wanted to ask you again because it's coming up here pretty soon. This Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira BMF title fight. I was curious your thoughts on that fight and who you think wins.
I'm gonna have to go with Max. I think back then I probably would have went with Oliveira. He just had those tendencies back then. To kind of get a little hurt and then just kind of call it quits. So, but now it's a different Oliveira. But I think it's gonna be an exciting fight. I think it's gonna be pretty back and forth. But like I said, I do have Holloway in that one.
Your buddy over there, Sean O'Malley, getting that win over Song Yadong. It kind of looks like they're going to give him the title shot next against Yan. If that does end up happening, how much different do you think that fight would be? Just because obviously both have improved a lot since the first time they fought.
Uh, yeah, no, it definitely be interesting. I don't know if it'd be too much different. I think it'd be a pretty good striking battle. Was their last fight 3 rounds? I
It
believe it
was three
was.
rounds. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Man, I'd like to see that fourth and fifth round. I don't know what would happen, but man, I would love to see it. Because Jan did get cut, I think, in that last round, so he would have to deal with that for 2 more rounds, like if it did go farther. But yeah, I think it'd be pretty much the same, but I would be rooting for Sean in that one. I think Peter Yan just recently got some back surgery, right?
He did. He's going to be out for a bit. I mean, if the timing works out, because he's going to be out for a little bit, maybe that fight happens at the White House. We'll see that White House again. We'll see.
Yeah, no, it'd be good. But yeah, I would have probably Sean in that one.
And having fought him just 2 fights ago, how do you think Umar would do against Petr Yan? Because that's another interesting matchup in your weight class.
Yeah, I think if Umar grabs a hold of anyone, and he could win rounds, he could definitely win that fight. You know, he just has to have the majority control time to win that fight, I believe. Um, I wish he would be like a little bit more active on top with strikes and maybe submission attempts. But I definitely think he could win a decision.
And I know we talked earlier about you fighting Cory Sandhagen. If he's not next, are there any other names in the weight class that interest you as far as opponents? Like Merab's technically still out there. I don't know if he's going to get to fight, next. Are there any other names in the division you haven't fought that you think would be interesting?
Yeah, if they're gonna be doing Sean and Petr Yan, I would love to fight Merab. I think that'd be a great one because he'd be waiting for a long time, and Merab, he doesn't really like to wait around. So I think that'd be a great one. I would love to do that one. I'd almost choose that one over Sandhagen, but I feel like maybe they'd have some plans for Merab, but I would definitely
Yeah.
do that.
And another name I'll throw out there. I know it's not as appealing, but he's on a nice win streak. Aiemann Zahabi, right? I think he's won 7 straight. You guys have that common opponent in Jose Aldo. Is that a fight that you think would be interesting, just from again an IQ perspective?
Yeah, that'd be a fun one too. Not as big of a name, and
Mhm.
personally, You know, he did duck my brother Marcus McGee, so
Oh,
I
did he?
feel like
Okay. Oh yeah,
yeah
that's
he
right.
was
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
supposed to fight McGee, and then he took some other fight, and that's just I don't turn down fights, so I don't know. It, it's
Fair
uh
enough.
it's weird, but I would gladly take that fight as well. I think it's the easiest out of all of them, to be honest. So,
Okay.
but we'll see.
Okay, I like that little subtle trash talk, but listen, I understand it. Again, like you're a guy that takes on everyone. You fought Umar, you fought everyone. That's totally understandable. Okay, my last question, and we've talked of this before. You guys have such a good thing going at the MMA lab. It's like a family, and I know you're kind of like I talked to a lot of other fighters. They consider you kind of like a leader at the gym. I'm sure you've been back to the gym since you returned from Vegas. What was that reception like? Because obviously you've had some big wins, but this one was, like I said, a little bit different with it being a main event, and you got the bonus. What was that like walking into the gym?
Yeah, I went in there last night and just for the breakdown of class, and it was pretty awesome. Just seeing everyone, like the vibe in the gym is just great right now. And the thing is, we had, I believe, 5 other fighters fighting the same night that I was at a local
The
show
rough
here.
card. That's right. It was on. It was this past weekend too. I know there's a couple fighters on that card, right?
Mhm. Yeah, so from what I heard is that they were able to watch my fight before like the majority of the guys that went out there say they watched my fight and they said like, man, it just pumped them up and it just you could tell like it was a little bit of difference in their performance after watching mine. So it's pretty cool, to be, a leader at the gym. I just do my thing over there, I love the sport. I love performing. I love working hard. So for them to watch me and kind of follow in my footsteps, it just says a lot, and I'm just going to continue to do my thing, and if they do that, I told them that I promised them they will get to where they want to be.
And making time for interviews, Mario. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last word.
I just want to thank my team. Oh man, they put in so much time into me. My sparring partners. So I want to thank them especially. The MMA Lab, Iridium, a sponsorship with Regenerate. They're kind of a new supplement on the scene now. That they help me stay healthy throughout the camp. And then also just want to thank you for giving me this platform once again. I think we've been doing this for a minute now, so it's awesome.